Yo guys, my name is Games, and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. We are in the middle of the third class trial. We just figured out that Hifumi was not dead when we first found him. He was actually alive, and he was the one that moved not only his body, but Taka's body as well. But we still don't know who killed either of them, so we're gonna keep on going.
Stuff down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he
So
died.
we also believe that that Hifumi was one of the people involved in this murder, in Taka's murder.
Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
It's perfectly into
Then
place.
Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing.
Super
for
involved.
Sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
No.
Sorry, no.
He's actually really dead this time.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Poor Hina.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice
I like how he's actually kind of using his brain in this way because he's like, I could be named as the killer and it wasn't me.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance
I don't know,
of a
I think the
brain
last
knocking around that skull of yours after all.
I think the last two
Yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
trials, he's actually
right,
like
though.
really, he's almost on
I
top
don't
of things. Like,
understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I had to find the truth.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Is it that one?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
/hammer time.
One thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be
No,
one
it's
of
this
the
one.
Justice.
I was like, it can't be witness. Yeah, no. There is no Justice Hammer 5.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And
Yes,
the
I
reason it had been
know.
scrubbed clean was
I
most
know,
likely
I know.
because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones.
I didn't realize how
Even
small
some
Justice
flat
Hammer
mallet
1 was till now.
I think whoever made the
It's a
Justice
tiny-ass
hammers
hammer.
used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him.
Why?
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least, that's what we thought at first, but...
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more
I was
than
like,
one
I can't remember
person,
if I-
only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was
It's not
explained.
impossible, but...
But that only
It's just
really applies
stupid.
if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Take 2 murders and impossible.
Based on the rules that have even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rules...
It's not impossible. Like I said, it's not impossible. It's just that no one would want to work together. Because it's like, what would the
Since there
point
were
be?
two murders,
And
it's
I'll
at
let
least
her out.
plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Just realized how much I missed
Versus
it.
reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, Then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
I think that's what the true
Could
killers
they both
would
graduate
do.
though?
They would each have an accomplice for their crime.
Would that be possible?
And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Yeah, it didn't
And
work
it
for
only
Hifumi, now
looked
did
like
it?
one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single
So
suspicious
someone was
individual,
pretty much
a
pulling
similar weapon used in
Hifumi's
each
strings
crime,
behind his back.
disappearing
The
bodies.
little puppet master.
By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so?
Somebody wants that money, man.
But admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Because Hifumi's such a pushover, though. The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at them as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Okay. When I first played this, I literally had no idea that I would be picking the right person, because there's something that still bugs me about this whole case. And when I choose who it is,
Here's my
one
answer.
thing, and that is how she
It was
went
Celeste.
and killed Hifumi and came all the way back downstairs
Am I?
after she did that.
I really do
Like-
hate this kind of joke.
How?
joke?
Or was it done when they split up to look for the bodies?
So what you are saying
Is that
then,
like, it's just, I
is
don't
that I
know.
specifically chose to work together with
Unlike
Hifumi.
the second game
The
where
idea that
the one murderer, where both murderers actually have like plenty of time to actually do what they needed to do. This one, it kind of seemed like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch, since, and I guess in game time, like, okay, like, in the game, it could take like, oh, like maybe it took them 15 minutes to find the bodies, or 20 minutes, or half an hour, but like for gameplay wise, it would only take someone like maybe, 5 minutes for the scene to activate. But it's just like, it just seemed like it kind of a stretch with how she could go and kill Hifumi and then get back to the rest. Like, it's just, I don't know. Especially since he was killed in the repository, the door was locked, but Sakura and Hiro were right there, so how did she get out without them seeing her? Like, that's just, unless I'm thinking about it too much, I don't know.
that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Celeste, your accent is slipping.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be
Pardonnez-moi.
clear, there is evidence to support it.
I think the most damning evidence is that she's the only one that
is.
saw.
Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior
Robo
that
Justice.
was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? The only paper hidden in Hifumi's pants. The pants. That's the true mastermind of the whole game is Hifumi's
the
pants.
suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
That's like that Jimmy Neutron episode where the pants come alive and he had to defeat him with starch. That's what it is.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Asshole.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever
Oh,
laid
this
eyes on the
earbud is like
costumed
slipping and
individual.
I hate it and I...
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Because it's so easy. It was so easy for her to pull his strings
Everything they
too.
told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
And also the fact that it's like, he's up on the 3rd floor at the end of the hallway. It's like, okay, now where did he go? And then Hifumi screamed, so that was like the perfect giveaway of him,
Headed to the
or
2nd
them
floor
being
specifically
distracted from
because of
that.
what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. It's like, okay, bitch, where did he go after that?
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into 2 groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will lead the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura. How about just Byakuya and Sakura, because
If
Toko
Celeste
won't do
and
shit.
Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything,
Well,
the whole thing was one
she's
big
the
act.
ultimate gambler, so...
You were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Just saying.
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Don't
what
play
you said
coy.
after Hifumi's body
the phrase?
disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Or play stupid at least. They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. Going to die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too.
It's exactly like when Mondo said, dude is the chick about Chihiro. It was like that sudden, like, oh no.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been
you
killed.
said that,
So
you
Sakura
gave yourself
and I left
away.
with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really.
She said
get
those
what it
guys. She didn't even. She shouldn't have known that Tako's dead.
Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
So that's when you gotta
those
hit,
guys died.
right?
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I think that. Yes.
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die.
I'm going to die! I love making it deep, and it's just like, oh god, creepy, man.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It's that last minute.
It has to be
I
some
know
kind of
I'm
setup,
wrong.
right?
Like, I know I'm cornered, but I'm
So let's
still
put
gonna
the suit
fucking
on.
try.
Then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
Would anybody be able to drag Hifumi away? Really?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at
it's
all.
like, Celeste, you
Then
lost.
shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had you tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
You can't even see your own feet. You can't bend your knees or your legs.
No.
Or your
Even if the
waist.
person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight. And there she is, that bitch in the background. Like, they'll never know.
They totally made a mistake.
That's how
when
it
they made
is.
So it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Because then they wouldn't be able to pull off the picture.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
I love that when she just snaps.
Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
It slipped so bad. Hey Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed you, actually? Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yeah, Yasuhiro. That's how he said it.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hatakure!
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
Two people going by
It's more
different
complicated.
names.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Said mysterious a lot. He said our last names.
That's right, our last names. He called us
He
all
said
by
he
our
called
last
him Mr.
names.
Naegi a lot.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
I think he also said Miss Kirigiri
did mean to say
a lot.
Hiro's name.
I think I've heard
He would have
him
said
say
his
that.
last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental.
I think he said
By chance,
Maizono,
he
Miss
just-
Maizono.
his first name. Indecent?
I don't know if what other ones he said, but I know there was
Random
Maizono, I think
There's a
Kirigiri,
valid,
and then
convenient
Naegi.
explanation. No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
I wish it says your ear holes.
What?
Get
you
your
just
ear holes wide
Take your
open.
false accusation so far. I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What?
Yeah,
I think I've earned the right to be
just a little bit.
fun
I mean,
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up. So then, I have to do something to make her accept it. I think this one is E handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name.
Yasuhiro, if there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to
Does
go on
anyone that watches Steven Universe, she kind of sounds like a really angry Pearl when she's not doing the accent.
Thanks. You have no way to contradict.
Boom, boom, bitch. By the way, I do love Celeste. I love her. She's such a cool character.
The handbook.
She's so conniving and cunning. It's great. And I just love when she freaks out here and her accent is just gone. It's like she just ditches the whole thing. And when she's still like, my name is Celestia Ludenberg. It's like, honey, your accent's gone? Everything you tried to do is gone? Don't lose the handbook when you start it up. It will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
But no, I don't know why, but she sounds like an angry Pearl from Steven Universe. I don't know why.
From the beginning.
And it's probably not the same. I doubt it's the same person, but it's just so funny.
Everything to an end.
Alright, so closing argument. I think we can wrap this up. He looks so ugly in this. Like, what the fuck? Okay. 1 a.m. So we met. Taking the picture. We met Taka. Shit. I think it's just him. No, 4. No. This is 4. Swung it, killed him. Didn't move the body yet. Oh, come on. Where's your watch? Oh, wait, no. No, switch. Switch, you come back. You go over here. And Justice Hammer. Bloody hand. Nope. I forgot. I didn't see the blood on it. 2 here? I don't think so. Yeah, it has to be 2. Alright. Oh wait, it can't be 2. It's gotta be... Three. We'll do this and then we'll... Okay, this is him pushing the tarp. Or pushing the dolly. Bloody one. So this has to be 2 then.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
What? Oh, okay. Switch these. That's my bad. Switch
The
those.
killer is you!
There we go.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
But what would have happened if he never showed up?
That
Like-
someone they met with was Hiro.
Oh my god!
The
Freaking
murderous
Ifumi's
Hiro
shadow looks like
Hiro was
the
prime
doppelganger
suspect. So when they met up
fuck.
with him,
The shadow doppelganger of Gecko Warrior from
they
One
drugged him,
Piece.
knocked him out,
It's what
and
he looked
stuffed him
like
into
for a
the
second.
Robo Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo Justice was attacking them, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro.
I hate these earbuds.
When they were done with
They're
it,
like cheap
they shoved
$2
him, still
ones.
unconscious, into the pool room locker.
Oh, then yeah, if there was 2 of them, then yeah, they probably could have gotten him into the
And then finally,
locker.
at 6 a.m.,
I forgot that
moved
he
into
met
the
up at
murder
he
place
met
of
them
the
at
crime.
1.
they called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Because you needed one of the biggest
The
hammers
reason
to
hammer
do
number
it.
4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story.
Injured.
With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds. That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for.
I love this. I love the blood packets. Like,
And Justice Hammer 3
it's like a magical girl transformation.
turned the room into a crime scene.
Oh
He
my god,
himself had
no!
apparently been brutally murdered.
Headphones, and I can't wear those, my actual, like, headphones because they won't stay
He let
on
out
with
a scream to
the
draw us
hood.
back. And when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body,
I like how
was
everyone's
separated,
super shocked, and then
we
there's
naturally assumed it was for Hifumi.
Sakura that's like, oh, and then Byakuya's like, Well, that's a thing.
He left the nurse's office.
He's not really surprised. Well, no, Byakuya's like, oh, and this Sokka's like, this is the thing that's happening again. It's like, she's just like royally pissed off in the back of her mind.
We all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
This is like, this looks like very anime style, like, I don't know. I guess with the flowers and their, yeah, it's just like the romance anime style.
You lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Hey, she kind of sounds like Pearl.
Interesting.
Just a little bit. At least to me, she sounds like Pearl. Yeah! Medals that I'm not gonna use.
Okay, come on, Akuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I think we'll finish this up with the Celeste's execution. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. Blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Oh, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations. So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So
Then did you use... you know. I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Tako were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say
What? What? What are you talking about?
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other
Then you're the
words,
one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I
And you
see.
used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. Oh, what are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it. What?
Are
It was
you okay with
Taka.
this?
He stole it. What? And I have
So
proof.
then-
Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found a use for that digital camera. I taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the pictures as soon as I showed it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As
He came
for
to my
me,
room last night unannounced, and then... It's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
What? And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
It's a crime, an absolute crime! I knew he got a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. Well, you did lie then. You lied. You technically still lied. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him. Wait,
most
please. If you
unfortunate.
go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh? Taka is
Actually,
planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you. What?
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. Bastard! Bastard, 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 bastard!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? I have to save her!
actually,
Then, would you like to join up with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even a love as twisted as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me. I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So, why you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's
And in that
see.
regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you
That's
okay
simple.
with this?
After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was... While you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so
So
in
he
the
had
end-
planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be
Now you
mean.
sound like Byakuya.
I
No,
wonder about
he
that.
derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for the money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape. But all along you've been saying how we had to accept living here. Obviously that was a lie! I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh? Because I had a dream. And accepting life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for
And
me,
it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
isn't it
To live in a European castle. Castle? It shows here that she actually has short hair and the pigtails are fake. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. That's going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. The one kissing our foot looks like Byakuya. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the
You sound
worst.
so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you
That's all there is to me.
understand?
That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is
That's
this?
what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's right.
Indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it
I would like to
wonderful?
come back as Marie Antoinette. She died years ago. Like, you just get executed again. Celeste smiled, then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her. You all done? Okay, then let's get rolling! The black can disturb the peace and must pay the price. Now then.
I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Alright, we'll go ahead and watch her execution and I'll wrap this video up. I'm surprised, like, out of all the ones, she wasn't one to just willingly walk with him. Because she's, like, accepting, like, she's just like, yep. But still. And remember how she said about Marie Antoinette? Though she actually was beheaded like Marie Antoinette, that would have been a little bit more gruesome than the other executions they've had. Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Also, I will never get tired of the style of the executions, like all of this. I will never get tired of how they do them. Which I hope the executions in the new game will be just as good. thinking she's going out exactly as she wants. Till this. And a lot of people are like, oh, her death is her execution is the saddest. It's like, actually, no. Hers is the most well-deserved. Like, she manipulated someone to do what she wanted and then ended up killing them. So and the thing is, what's funny is, the way that, I know, like, their death, or their executions ties into their ultimate, you know, the ultimate whatever, like, I'm gonna pause this here. I'm gonna save it real quick, but I'm just gonna say this real quick. But, like, how Leon's tied in because it was baseball, but he even says, I hate baseball, and wants to join a band, or wants to make a band. Then he kills the girl that has a pop group, and then he gets killed by the thing he hates, which is baseballs, because he doesn't like baseball. He wanted to quit baseball. And then for Celeste, I mean, I don't really know about Mondo's, because I guess that one's still weird. But she thought she would go out the way that she wanted, which was like royalty back, you know, back way then would get, you know, taken to the guillotine, would get beheaded. But she thought, you know, I'm going up like really nicely, I'm going out the exact way I want to. But then she gets killed by something that can happen to anybody, which is being hit by maybe not just a fire truck, but like a car, a bus. That can happen to anybody. And she pretty much got taken out how a normal person would. Not like, you know, the ultimate gambler, not as Celestia Ludenberg, but as a normal person. She did not go out the way she thought she was going to go out, which was like royalty, got taken out by just like a normal person could be. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.